And then it was just like the escalation of the situation instantly.
Wait, he was
drunk.
His car.
No, he was drunk. He was urinating in public, and then he was urinating on somebody else's property, right? Which is so his "don't come over here" was
caught him,
and you
right.
became his Batman of this.
His "don't come over there" was don't come look at me doing this thing.
And then you saw his wee-wee, so he got real mad.
Yeah.
And he got all, like, testosterone.
Super aggro. Yeah. Real bad. Yeah.
Some people use the phrase aggro. I use testosterone.
I'm so surprised by the people that use the word aggro.
You what?
I'm so surprised by the people that use the word aggro.
Yeah, it's not mine. I've taken that word.
No. I mean, you've played video games where that is, I feel like, a term. Probably. I feel like I've heard grandparents say aggro, and it's like, I respect you trying to keep up.
It was on Big Bang Theory or something.
They get like a daily Urban Dictionary where it just pops up to tell them the new word to use.
I'm gonna be that grandparent who's just like everything was chill AF today. You know, like
I've stopped trying to know. I just go, is that a thing? Like when I made you tell me what Internet of Things meant.
That's.
I see that the kids are saying that. What does that mean? Very
so fun.
interesting.
I don't know that the kids know that term.
They don't have the time.
They may be saying it, but they don't know.
I was like, I guess you're right. It's like I'm talking about like tweets written by startups. You're right. You're right. It wasn't. It wasn't actually that. It was just a TED Talk.
I don't know. Are there any shorthands that you guys don't know?
All of them.
You don't know any of them? You know IIRC?
No.
I just learned that one. As I recall correctly.
Oh, yeah. So I have to, if I see him in context most of the time, I can get it. And
why
it's
is that a phrase?
I do.
That we needed a shorthand. Like it's such a...
I use TBH and...
To be honest?
Yeah.
I use on my way because I'm driving.
Sure.
When OMW. That's...
Yeah.
Because I just... have to alert.
I hate using OMG, but I only shorten it in tweets for number
letters.
Of characters. Yeah.
Are you ever actually laughing out loud when you send out LOL?
I usually, if I did laugh out loud, I write literally LOL.
See, I type blah ha 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 ha.
You type blah.
Wow, you're a serial killer.
Right, that's it.
Blah ha ha ha.
There it is.
No, I literally give them
He's gonna start the virus for all the Internet of Things. See, it's him. It's him.
I hope so. You know, I was talking about that earlier. I was talking about that earlier. Is I've been really sad to find out that every villain that we've ever known in history thought they were doing the right thing. is where I was going with that.
Really
I would love to have a villain that knows he's doing the wrong thing in the world. You know, like a Dr. Evil or like someone who's just like, yes, I will turn everyone on the planet into like chimpanzees.
Someone who understands our ethics and just vehemently opposes them.
Yeah. Like, and like holds the world
There's
hostage.
that new Netflix series that just came out. I want to say it's called Mindhunter. Yeah, and it's about an FBI guy in the 70s figuring out the like details of, or like discussing the idea of a serial killer at a time when like law enforcement didn't acknowledge that there were people who were that there were people who would have like reasons to be bad versus like people like they just go, well, he was born that way, and you're like, well, no, everyone's a baby, occasionally there's a person who's like just gonna born bad and like they're gonna hurt you no matter what all the way through, but a lot of times it's like this happened or that happened and it set them off and it created this or whatever, or
a mad scientist created you in a lab somewhere and just gotta deal with that.
See, I feel like even serial killers
so often.
I feel like serial killers even legitimize their actions to themselves in some level. Like serial killers like will just say like, I am God of my universe, and I say who dies,
the
who lives.
Sam said a dog told him to do it. I mean, like, I don't know how admitting you know what you're talking about that is.
But that's still like passing the fault over to something. Right, you know, it's like he wasn't okay with what he was doing, so he created this narrative in his head where
the dog told him,
a talking dog
that he had to do it. Right?
I mean, psychologically, he did that to remove responsibility from himself over to this thing. Where I would say, like, in the event of like Captain Planet, every bad guy in Captain Planet was just a straight up motherfucker.
Right.
He was a pig-faced guy who just wanted to poison the earth with toxic waste in the ocean, and like literally looked like a pig and was just a monster, and literally just said fuck everybody. Like that's the kind of villain I'm talking about. Like not somebody who's going like, well, I should pollute the earth because certain kinds of plankton will be all right and I can profit off of it. Like literally, it's just like, fuck everybody. This is where I'm dumping this shit. Like, you know, like that's the kind of villain I'm talking about. Like the black and white villain of childhood.
I worry that stories that would include a villain like that would seem too real and thus would not be consumed. Like that the audience right now needs a bit of that. The reason why everything that is in pop culture right now is like, you know, vampires and like mystical shit and like, you know, magic, blah, blah, blah. It's because we can't fucking handle actual horrible people. In fact,
it's time travel too.
In fact, even the like Law and Order Menendez brothers case thing that's on there. Every time I watch that, I'm like, this is fucking real. This is fucking real. Like, this is not like, yeah, it's a dramatization. I'll give you that, but it's like, no, this happened.
Yeah.
Like, but even that's creating. Spoiler alert, real facts. They're creating situations where it's like, this is why this happened, you know, as opposed to like bad people. Whereas like if you were to create a show where it was like this person's just inherently bad, I don't know, but aren't there that in some of the, it's still magic, but like existed. Gotham or whatever?
Yeah, well, I mean, like that archetype existed for a majority
shows?
of the time of like this sort of fictional thing. It's only recently that it's like, it's dynamic to introduce and like somebody that's relatable, like the Maleficent thing with Angelina Jolie. It's like this character, one of the first Disney villains, and we just get a whole movie to show why you could maybe understand why she would do this to the Sleeping Beauty, and you know, like all this
I think for like children's shows and stuff, it makes it easier just to say.
No, yeah, it's
they're bad, period.
Yeah, it's as an adult, it's way more interesting to go like to be given a glimpse into the the perspective that would lead to something like this. Like that's why like Heath Ledger's Joker is so great, and you know, like all this stuff. But I kind of miss that black and white, good and bad kind of thing, where it's like it would just be awesome if somebody just showed up and just held the like southern hemisphere hostage with a fucking laser missile that was stuck on the moon. You know, it's like, I'll just blow it up if you don't give me a bunch of money, and I'm sitting on it. So,
dude, you just just what you just said like could be like on USA Today tomorrow. Like it's like
something Steven Seagal needs to stop.
Likely to happen. Like that's not like the plot of a movie. That's like next week's news.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I don't know how much I can really deal with that.
American Horror Story this season. Have you seen anything about it? It's called Cult.
Yeah, and it starts with Trump getting elected. Wait, did it already start?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There are 9 episodes in. So, yeah. I binged. I caught up.
See, that show just... I know we talked about it last time, but that show just loses me sometimes, and I have to walk away.
This is really good.
Is it? Okay,
yeah.
The hotel thing lost me.
Yeah, this is on par with 1, if not better.
Hotel lost me. I didn't see any of Roanoke. Was Roanoke worth...
It was an interesting... They used a different style in that, and that I enjoyed. It wasn't necessarily as concise as some of the other ones.
Okay.
But, I mean, there's always good acting in it, too, and it's just like... But yeah, it's not just a standard narrative form in it, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
It just makes me nervous. I haven't watched any of them, but just because it's called American Horror Story, and horror makes me nervous. So I don't watch a lot of it. So wait,
Thriller is the thing that shines out. Like,
that's like what I watched when I was a child, and then, like, I didn't watch horror films after that. Like,
really? I just never did. Rule in your life.
Well, no, I mean, I didn't watch it. Also, it was just me and my sister. Girls aren't really super into horror. My dad didn't push it after he clearly messed with me while making me watch Thriller, right? My mom reminded him of that a number of times, so it was like, well, they're not watching anything there. I'm sure he watched stuff with his friends, but, like, we didn't ever watch any horror stuff. We were little girls that watched little girl things and stand-up.
With lots of curse words.
HBO late night Eddie Murphy stand-up.
Yeah. I mean, like, I learned what sex was from HBO Real Sex, but other than that...
I had a professor who directed an episode.
But at the same time, like, you know, I never really watched horror movies, and I've had boyfriends throughout my life try to, like, get me involved in stuff, and, like, sometimes that works, and sometimes that backfires. Because, like, certain movies that now I associate with boyfriends I don't like, I won't watch anymore, because I'll be like, fuck that, so-and-so wanted me to watch that stupid movie.
No, yeah, I'm the same way with, like, alt-pop bands from, like, the early 2000s. Like, The Fray. The Fray. Nah. No, I was super into werewolf movies growing up.
Yeah.
I don't know, I really like the idea of, like, transforming into... like a primal thing.
Sure.
Like The Howling. I really like The Howling movies. The practical effects in those are always really good. American Werewolf in London.
Right.
I liked American Werewolf in Paris just because.
98, right?
Yeah, it was technically a continuation of the series and also Bush did some of the songs in that movie.
I don't remember much about it other than really bad blue screen / green screen.
Yeah, no, the effects in it were terrible.
Yeah. That's really all I remember of that movie.
Ginger Snaps is a really good werewolf movie.
Is a really good movie.
It's a really good werewolf movie. It was also like it was like an analog for like puberty in women. It was really, really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
And then the sequel was kind of weird.
I don't remember it. I watched it. Don't remember.
Took place in like colonial America.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was technically
was
a
it the
prequel.
same actresses?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
But it was like the same story that just took place inside of a colonial town. Yeah.
Maybe I have to go rewatch it.
I used to buy what was that magazine, that horror
Fangoria?
Fangoria.
Yeah.
And that's what taught me about like Ginger Snaps and like practical effects and things like that.
My favorite part of Fangoria was all of the like offerings, all the ads, like the masks and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
That was my favorite part of it. Just like Popular Science, I'd read the articles and then immediately like spend more time in looking at the stupid like you can buy a submarine for $20. Yay!
Yeah. I got really into the idea that you can just make like really scary shit low budget.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what kicked off like Texas Chainsaw Massacre kicked off for me. I was like, this looks like it took $35 to fucking make. Like $35 in a good weekend, you know?
And it was all that mask.
Saw took like 2 weeks to shoot.
Yeah.
Like,
and like Paranormal Activity, which is like a whole
high grossing.
Yeah, because it took a weekend in one dude's house to shoot.
Well, there's a lot of stuff like that. In fact, horror doesn't get a lot of like, credit for the artistry or anything like that, because a lot of people will be like, oh, well, you could make it in a weekend. If you can do that, then... And you're like, yeah, you made it in a weekend, and then millions of people watched it and enjoyed it. I call it a win.
Yeah, you know who loves it? Investors. Investors love horror.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Well, it's like that the Blair Witch. I would, fucked with me because it seemed real. Yeah, you know, like it put it in a real.
Yeah, I remember when everyone thought it was. That was a good time.
Blair Witch.
Yeah, I didn't
the whole
see
found
it,
footage thing. It was new.
The viral marketing was brand new.
Why wouldn't this be? Why wouldn't this have been found in the woods?
I ended up getting into or watching more horror films after what did I watch? I think somebody made me watch the third Evil Dead. What the fuck is it called?
Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness, right. And
so
I love Bruce Campbell.
That's not a horror
He's adorable. So I was like, what can I watch that everything that he's been in, right?
That's like 75% horror, 25%. Or no, 75% comedy, 25%.
Oh, absolutely. Which is why I was like, okay, well, I'll watch
comedy,
this.
Which is why,
And then I watched Evil Dead 1 and then 2.
Which
and 2 is my favorite.
The same.
They're the same, yeah.
Yeah, just second.
The second one's just a redone.
Which one's with the tree? I always forget. I think
both.
They both have it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the first one has a lesser...
Okay, yeah.
A lesser
There's
version
more
of that.
people in the second one. There's more people. It goes through,
there's more people in that, and there's also a lot more like stop motion animation, because there's like that one bit with the girl's head, she's like dancing with it and like bouncing it around and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's good.
She does this weird ballet thing where she like spins her head.
But because I liked Bruce Campbell, I was like, all right, I'll watch this. And then I made somebody show me a documentary about how they made certain films, and I got and it